JPL, welcome to the show. How we doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, and we do a lot of Idol stuff. I mean, I was telling you off the air before we started here. We do our Idol update every week. We vote. I hate certain people. I love certain people. I honestly don't remember if I loved you or hated you in season 3.
That's a good thing. And it's good to be kind of like lost in the annals of like, you know, love and hate, I guess, in American Idol. You know, it's like, because as far as you're concerned, I can tell you that everyone loved me, you know?
Well, I do love the show, and I do remember you, as everyone does. JPL. Everybody calls you JPL.
That's right.
And before we get to the new album and the single and all that, Season 3, 4 years ago.
Right.
What's the biggest change in you over the last 4 years? What's been going on with you?
Well, I guess the biggest change is that I have a career, you know? It's like I was a college student and before American Idol, and then suddenly I just kind of got sucked into this whirlwind, you know, and it's kind of like being thrown into a pool full of sharks, you know, or like an ocean full of sharks, you know. It's really what it feels like, but it's cool, you know. It's been really a great experience.
Your season 3 was a bizarre one because it had a couple of weird things going on. First of all, it was the William Hung season.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That was a big deal.
Yep.
And then in your top 10, you had John Stevens, the redhead crooner, which everybody remembers.
From Buffalo.
You have an Oscar winner now, Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
And Broadway has been a big deal. Fantasia, Diana, LaToya London, and
we've all been on it. Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson does a movie version of a Broadway show.
Yeah.
So I mean, just a lot of crazy stuff. You've never been on Broadway, right?
You know, I was actually up for a couple roles.
Really?
In Broadway, I played. I was up to play Robbie Hart in The Wedding Singer.
Oh, all right.
And you know, but they wanted me to be out on the road for a year, and I ended up playing Jesus in Godspell at home, like by my house, you know, which was like, you know, then there I could have, I mean, because I was in the works of finishing this record and doing this record when all this kind of came about, and so, you know, I'm glad that things have kind of ended up the way they have, because I'm very, very pleased with the way the record is.
And what about the record? It comes out July 22nd, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called Break the Silence. The first single, which we're going to hear in a little bit, is also Break the Silence.
Yeah.
Now, from what I understand, and by the way, Jon Peter Lewis here with us from Season 3 of American Idol, if you're just joining us, you didn't get a record deal right away after Idol. You wanted to write your own music. You wanted to do your own thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff, or all of this stuff, is your original stuff?
A lot of it is. Some of it isn't. I mean, my philosophy on songwriting is, you know, I want to definitely be part of the songwriting process. I love writing, but, you know, if somebody's coming to me with a song that's really great, you know, I don't necessarily want to turn it down, you know, because it's a great song. If it's better, especially if it's better than my song, you know, for me. And I'm like, okay, you know, let's do it. But I mean, I have, I what I knew when I was coming off of the show, I knew that I wanted to, I just knew that I wanted to write. I knew that I wanted to be a part of the process, you know, and even the songs that I haven't written, you know, the arrangements are pretty much mine, you know, all the instrumentation. I've been in the production studio, you know, from day one, just kind of like standing with the producer, you know, at every moment and just saying yes or no, and kind of like, you know, devising how we're going to accomplish the task of, you know, of the recording. And so, you know, I mean, I've been completely involved in the process, which is something that I really enjoy.
And you play guitar really well. I mean, you were warming up out here. It's funny, when we have like a person coming in who's going to play music and a star on the way in, you know, everybody shows up early, and the president of the company's here, and he's out there in the conference room as you were warming up. He's like, yeah, we should have a campfire and drink some wine.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a very cool vibe. You're just kind of a chill guy, and you do your thing, right?
I enjoy it, man. I just enjoy it. I like to be relaxed. I like to put people at ease. You know, I like to have fun with everybody. You know, and I think that's what it's all about. Is everybody just, you know, having a good time and definitely relaxing. You know.
Jon Peter Lewis, Season 3 of American Idol, here with us. Got voted off the week before Jennifer Hudson. We're going to hear Break the Silence in just a little bit. What about the instruments? You know, the idols this year are allowed to play instruments.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that might have helped you, gotten you a little further in your season if you were able to do that?
It might have, you know. I mean, I was, it might have helped. I mean, I definitely would have enjoyed it. There's no question about that. I think it has done a lot for the contestants this year. I think there are a few contestants who would not have made it as far without having that instrument bump.
What's your take on the season? Who do you think's going to win? What have you been watching this season?
Well, I think, I've been watching a lot of them. I mean, usually my favorites don't go through, or the people that I really like aren't the winners. I mean, I'm kind of an album track kind of guy.
Okay.
And I really liked Brooke White a lot, and I think she was one of those that got through because of all the instruments. I mean, it was like she lasted as long as she did because, she looked good behind the piano. Well, she looked good without the piano, but she still like. She played the piano really well. She played the guitar well, and she sang. Really. I think she sings really well. She doesn't have a huge range like some of the other contestants, but she. I liked her. I liked Carly. I mean, I thought she was a little bland, but I liked her. And then and I liked Michael Johns this season a lot. The funny thing is, I know Michael Johns and Brooke from before Idol.
For how?
Like Brooke. I've performed with Brooke before.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, she called me before she went on to she called me before she went to audition for Idol, and she says, "Hey, should I do it?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "What have you got to lose?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know." And we just kind of started chatting, and she went off. But just before then she went off to Philly and auditioned, and then she came back and told me about it, and it was just like it was really cool.
Did she stalk you during season 3? How did you guys meet? How do you know Brooke White?
We go. I met her at church actually.
Wow.
I met her at church. We sang at a church function, and that was kind of like how she and I met. Because she lives like right around the block from me, and so that's pretty much how I met her. And then Michael Johns. My roommate played in his band for a long time before Idol, back when he had a record deal with Columbia and when he had a record deal with Epic.
It's amazing how that's happening. People get on the show, they've had record deals. It's the whole American Idol thing is bizarre now as we are in season 7.
It's actually not as bizarre as you'd think because, there are other idols who had record deals before that just weren't talked about.
Carrie Underwood?
Well, I don't know about Carrie, but I do know, I'm pretty sure Diana and Fantasia both had record deals.
That's possible.
Before,
they seemed almost professional.
Yeah, they both had deals. And that Fantasia's cousins are like Casey or JoJo, from Casey and JoJo.
Yes.
Or one of those, Casey or JoJo. I'm not sure which one, but